Hello and welcome to the channel Unity 151. My name is Joe. I talk and review sci-fi, mostly sci-fi, and space opera books and audio books. I also have other content on my channel. I do author interviews and models. If you want to help, click like, subscribe, become a Patreon. Get Patreon stuff that, I don't know, whatever you want, and maybe I'll give it to you. Today's book is Lost Fleet of Fearless by Jack Campbell. Bang! This one, I love my bangs. Or bang. There, I know it's there. This is going to be a non-spoiler review. Please, again, like, I would appreciate that. Just that little, usually like a little ding, click, just click like, that's all I want. I'm going to read the blurb. I'll then talk about the things that I liked about the blurb, and then I'm going to have my 5 categories. My 5 categories are story and world building, characters, battles, machines and technology of war, and then who, or aliens and or who the enemy are. Everything I'm going to do is going to be without spoiling, or my best to not spoil, but I will be talking like you've read the first book, which is Dauntless. If you haven't watched the first book and you want a non-spoiler of the first book, at the end of the video I'll have like the box things that you click and then you can go watch one of my other videos. Yeah, that's that really, so I'm going to get into the blurb now. The Alliance fleet continues its perilous journey across enemy star system. Surviving to make it home, their legendary leader, Captain Black Jack Geary, plots a complex route deep inside enemy territory in an effort to outwit their enemies, the Syndics. But when an old war hero returns to the fleet after years spent in Syndic labour camps, he is determined to lead the Alliance to victory, whatever the cost. With his command threatened, a mutiny divides the fleet, leaving Geary fighting not only for his leadership, but also their very survival. Well, there we go. Don't really know much about that. That's the intro. That's not the intro, tell a lie. That's the blurb, sorry, the blurb. I'm going to put the book down because it's still there, isn't it? So, Fearless. I loved it. It was a really good book, actually. I'm itching for the next one, but it's a read long, so I've got to wait, which is quite sad, really. But back to the book. So I usually read like a chapter a night. That's kind of how I read my books. But I'd got up to like chapter 5, 4 or 5, something like that. Did a couple a night, and I just really got sucked into it. And then I spent a whole day supposed to do my jobs, do my YouTube stuff, write a bit of stuff. No, I was like bang, 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 smashed it out in a day, done, finished the whole book. Now these, I mean, I'm not the fastest reader, so that's quite, you know, I was about like there, whatever, and I knocked it all out in a day, with like monitoring children and so on and so forth. Good book. It just picks up straight after from Dauntless. The same drama and the issues and the political issues he has carries on, so he has to deal with John. Yeah, that's John, isn't it? Oh, so John, you know, has to deal with all that stuff with trying to keep the fleet together. It was just good. Like the whole story is good. The divide that he talks about, this new guy comes along that they pick up from a labour camp, having to deal with all of that. It was really interesting, like how they resolved all of it. It's just brilliant. The whole thing was brilliant. It was a really, really good, enjoyable book. You learn more stuff, more about the mysteries, about stuff that's in the first book. They tease a bit more in here, and you don't get loads of answers. It's a big series. I think there's 6 books, 8 books, something like that. So you know it's going to carry on. They're not going to give you everything in one hit. But, like, again, it's just brilliant, you know what I mean? So we're going to get on to the categories now. I've rambled onto that. We'll talk about the first one. The first category is story and world building. Again, without spoiling, we're going to go into it. So, yeah, it builds on existing. Everything that was going on before is building on that. You still don't know why the war started with the Syndics. Syndics are humans. You don't know why it started with humans. Well, the Syndics mean. But you kind of, there's more theories. Like, what I like about this is this theory that everyone's got their own little theory. So it's not just like here's the facts, that's it. It's kind of like, you know, some people are talking like could it be this, we don't know what it is and stuff like that. Why this war started, and then more information comes on, but it's all speculating of like stuff. So with all that, they're sort of chucking like their own theories about and like trying to work. It's not their jobs to work out, but why they're flying around nails to do, and they're trying to work all this stuff out. And then they do get onto like who's bordering the Syndics, and maybe has that got to do anything? Because there's only humans. Everyone just knows about humans, but they're still like, oh, what's bordering the syndics? Maybe something else and outside stuff. It's very, very interesting. Other things with the story is, Blackjack, John Blackjack Geary, he's still dealing with all the issues of like the fact that he's woken up and he's, a few months he's been awake from sleeping 100 years or whatever it was, 500 years, not 500 years, 100 years. And he's still got to adjust to that, and he's still trying to learn all the characters and all the people on his his fleet, and not just his ship. He bonds with some more characters really, really well, which I like. We'll talk about the character side. But all of this it's just building the world. Like there's a little bit more new technology and stuff. You learn a bit more about the hypernet gate system and how they travel and what it does and what happens if they fail or don't fail, and mysteries of like they build these but they don't know what happens if they get blown up or don't get blown up. So there's all like kind of like, how can you build something and not know what happens with it? And then it's just all it's really interesting. It was cool. They're still trying to escape. They do like a massive detour to go different ways, and on their way they hit some major points. The syndics, they attack the syndics and they catch them with their pants down big time. With the politic and the drama inside between a little bit of political BS with a politician, Victoria. She's a really cool character. She's a stern, cold woman, but she's really cool. The new character who comes in. There's a couple of new characters who come in with him, but he's the main guy. Then another character affects a different person. So the whole story's amazing. It's amazing. The story and the world building was cracking. Absolutely outstanding. I loved it. I would say it's a 4.2 out of 5. Really, really good. Characters. Right. Okay. Here we go. So you've got John Blackjack Geary. He's the main guy. Point of view, everything's from him. He's good. I like about him, obviously everything's in his head, but like something he does, he talks to himself in his head quite a lot. Now I know because I'm a mad person, I do it myself. Like I've always got internal monologue going on, running and having conversations in my head. I'm through them, but like you don't always see it loads in books. You do, but the books I read and stuff, there isn't a lot of this. But he really goes into quite questioning himself and what to do. Not in a bad way, questioning himself, but he's questioning what to do and stuff and talking. He's like, he'll say like, I don't really want to do that. And then he says like, he's rubbing his head, and he goes, yeah, okay, like because he has to do it for the best of the fleet and what he wants to do. What he wants to do to what he does. He don't want to be dealing with the ship. The fleet, he don't want to do the fleet, he don't do the problems, syndics, he wish he died. He don't want to, he wish he died 100 years ago when it all went off. But he's not, and he's here, and he wants to do his job because he's committed to doing his job. He's a military person. He's not giving up, not in their nature. All of the syndics and all of the alliance, they're all like that. Don't want to give up, fighting, whatever. But what's good is like he wants to give up in his head because he's tired of it and he doesn't want to deal with all the stresses. But because it's his job, he refuses to do it, and it's obviously the right thing to keep trying to get these guys back because they're the good guys in the story. All of that is amazing. The way he, again, doesn't battle with himself, but the way he battles with himself, contradicting, I know, that's good. The way he conflicts with some of the other characters who are arseholes, how he gets on and his relationship with Victoria, I'll get onto her soon. There's a couple of new captains. There's newer captain, might be in the first one, but there's a new captain who's a bit more light shown. Can't remember her name, she gives her a C. Another one begins with a D, cannot pronounce his name. Can't forget what it is. Two other characters, they're really cool. I'm not going to spoil it, that's what I'm going to tell you. It's not going to do if I can't pronounce it. He's cracking. He's a really, really good character. It's solid. I just, in his head, I'm like, oh, it's amazing, it's amazing. Everything's going on, it's so real. Like, he'll sit down, he's like, he's rubbing, and he's like this because his temples, and he always rubs his temples like this, and I could feel it because he's so stressed and sick because he's been woken up for 100 years. Brilliant. Madame Co-President. It's Victoria, Rione. Rhone? No idea. I don't know what I called it. Victoria, I don't know what Victoria, it was like the last, I can't pronounce it. Anyway, so she's a politician. She reminds me of, I don't know, she's very, emotionless face. Back straight up. She's very, okay, yes. No emotions, yes, we will do this. No. But she does glare a bit. She, when it comes to John, he makes his decisions, and she's outside. So she's like, you know, this is the box, and all the military people think inside the box because they're trained and brought up this way, and that's how they, you know, that's how they think. And she's outside, so she's very good at kind of being like, well, what about, or you haven't thought about this, or don't think about it like this, think of it this way. And they're like, right, and then they just, it spirals off and it goes. As well, she's always, she's not against Geary, but she, again, calls himself, she is. So she's worried that Geary, or John, he will take the power, because he's like, he's a hero, and everyone's like, Black Jack, you know what I mean? He was a big hero, his name, everyone does stuff because of him to fight on. And she's terrified in a way that he's going to become too powerful and then take the fleet and become a dictator and blah, all this stuff. So that's where their conflict goes, but they like each other in a messed up way. But it's brilliant. It's brilliant, and the way she has conflicts with someone else. Now, there's the captain of the Dauntless, Disjani, D-I-S-J-A-N-I. Desjane, I don't know, I can't pronounce her name. She's a captain, she's brilliant, but her and Victoria, they clash at one point. They're all like, both of them are Team Geary in their own ways, but they don't really like each other because one's a politician, one's a military person. They've got different views on AIs and all these other things. But then something happens, and then they end up being not friends, but they get along better because of John. And then there's one little scene that they're like, John's like, walking down, walk down the corridors of the ship, and they're just like face to face, like each other, and he's like, "Whoa, what is going on?" Here it is. It was hilarious. It just absolutely killed me. And he's like, "What's going on?" And he said, "Like, oh, they find about me. They can't find about me. I don't know what's going on." And then he's going over and he's talking to him, and they're like, "Never mind, don't ask me. It's a woman thing." And I was like that, and he's like, "Ah!" Brilliant. I was like, killed it. Amazing. That's Victoria. Back onto Desjane? I don't know whatever her name is. D. I just call it D. I just kind of skim it. Desjane, I know. So she's a proper Blackjack Geary, John Blackjack Geary loyalist. She loved the idea of him before, when he was like this hero, mythical hero in the Alliance. And then when he comes back, she's all over him. But she's as a character, she's evolved from the first book to this book. First she was like, kill syndics, you know what I mean, head on, smash, don't need tactics, it's just go. That's what they're all like. They're all just smash lies, throw, don't worry about it. Because they kind of, over the years, their military's devolved, and where he's come back in, he's got the old way of doing it, which is not sacrificing lines, just smashing ships, because generations died, they lost, through the story, they lost ways of tactics, blah, all that crap. Anyway, but she's evolved as like, not just seeing as syndics as like this enemy that you've got to destroy, that they are human, and like, you know, don't kill civilians, and, you know, take prisoners or release prisoners, give them back, and all this stuff. She's seeing the idea of tactics, they're working, even though she was fairly smart anyway, but she's just evolved over her character. She's cool, I really like her, because she's up Geary's arse, but in a good way, and she's evolving as a character. You got the new it's not new baddie, you got the new conflict for Geary, can't go into his name. He's really interesting because he pops up and he clashes with Geary. And the reason why they clash, I can't go into, but he's cool, he's really interesting. And then what happens to him at the end, it is a bit like, oh man, you know what I mean? Because everything around his character and why he was doing it, even though he was doing it for the right reasons, it was wrong because it was the old or the new way of doing it. And the way he fought, and he was a massive loyalist to the Alliance, but what he was doing was just wrong. And at the end, like, it was brilliant. It was really good. They was all good. The characters are cool. 4.2 out of 5 again. I think they're brilliant. Yeah, good characters. 3 huge battles, I believe. So you got the first bit. I can't tell you about battles because it's all part of the story and stuff, but like, the battles, they go bigger, smaller, but more important, big-ish again. All of the battles and fighting is from, obviously, Blackjack's point of view. And the only way I can explain it is like a strategy game where you're looking down, you control all your units. That's what John Blackjack Geary does. He's in the Dauntless, a fight's going on and he's got to deal with time lag. So it's fairly realistic regarding, like, you know, he can only see his ships are 7 minutes. What he sees has already happened 7 minutes ago. So he's got to, like, right, in 7 minutes, they're going to do that. So I need to move these ones in 7 minutes time over there, because I know these in 7 minutes are going to do it. So when I actually see it's already happened 7 minutes, so I need them to already have gone. So by the time he sees this and that one doing something 7 minutes, it's already happened. But then he's got to then, after he sees that, he then has to react to that, but take into account that it already happened. So then they've got to guess through computers and, like, working it out where they are. And he's controlling the entire fleet and he's dealing with it. But what's good, again, what's involving for the other captains is, at first they were terrible. They just didn't, there was no tactic again, they just all charged in, head on to battle, bang, just smash each other up. Where he's trained them up to listen to him and do tactics and so on and so forth, and, like, listen to commands and so on, he's stepped back a little bit to allow the captains to do their job instead of managing it. And he even says, like, no, I've got to let them do it. I've put this captain in charge of these ones. I've let him have this specific mission to do that because I know he needs to do it. So I can't manage him because I need him to do it on his own. It was just brilliant. Yeah, it was good. The fights were good. The battles were really interesting. 4.5 out of 5. They were really, really good, they was. Technologies and machines of war. The ships, they're huge. They're big, powerful ships. That's the picture there. I might even put a big one in front of my face. Or there. I don't know. The ships, yeah, the ships are cool. They're all, what I like, again, which I said about in the first one, is they've got all the different classes. You haven't got one Pacific ship that's a jack of all trades, hybrid ship that can do everything. You know, I love Battlestar Galactica, but it's a carrier that's a battleship. You know, it's like, it's not like carriers and they're two different. Anyway, you've got battleships, you've got frigates, heavy cruisers, light cruisers, I think, auxiliary ships, which is, again, what I like about this is they have to make their weapons and stuff. So a lot of their missions, as they're doing it, it dictates on what they can get. So they need to resupply the auxiliary ships to be able to. They make energy, the fuel cells or whatever to power the ships, the weapons and all that stuff. So they need to go places to raid to get the raw materials for the auxiliary. I can't remember the words. Them ships. For them to then be able to refit and repair other ships and resupply. Again, sorry, what putting that is, but still, it's really good. I do like that aspect. It's not just the ships can just go on and just keep fighting forever and forever and nothing else happens. They've got it's brilliant. You've then got weapons. You've still got the same weapons as before. Nothing really interesting weapons. It's all pretty much the same as the first one, but the only big difference is the hypernet gate. You deal with a bit more of that in the book. A fair chunk, but not loads-ish. Again, I can't spoil, but you learn a lot more about it. There's more theories to why and what and so on and so forth. It's good. I like what the hypernet gate is, or hypernet, what it is and what it could potentially be and what can happen if it fails. You know, what could and what won't happen, all these things, again, with the technology and stuff, so it's really interesting. That one weapon, it's something like an atom, something, or whatever, it's like they get real close and it's just like, just chunks of the ship just get vaporised, and that is cool. No, the technology of machines of war, I'll give that a 4 out of 5. Aliens and or who the enemy are. The Syndics, so the Syndics are like a massive corporation style galaxy spanning faction, basically. Everything's run with CEOs or CEOs. I mean, a CEO is like is a captain, is like a mayor, is like a president. All of them, so like the planets, everything is a CEO down who has other CEOs underneath him down who has his minions, the office works, and so on and so forth. That's how it works. You don't really. Yeah, this is something that's really interesting. Is you know a lot about the Alliance. You know more about the Alliance than the Syndics, because the Alliance and the Syndics, from the Alliance point of view, you don't know much about the Syndics. You know they're Alliance, you know they're CEO, corporation, baddies, so on and so forth, but you don't know nothing about it. You don't really know who's in charge. how they, how they run it, because they've never been so deep into their territory before. So you don't know who, like I said, you know who the leaders are. There's no big baddie as a person, you know what I mean? There's no like the Emperor, the CEO main man. There's nothing, zero. It's just literally just you're just trying to get away from the syndics or the syndics. They're very ruthless. They've gotten worse. Same as the Alliance has gotten worse over time, and the syndics have as well. They have labour camps, and it's just like World War II labour camps. It's like the people are just skin and bones and hanging on, which I like. I do like the idea of how they've done that. That both, I don't believe the Alliance do that. I think it's a prisons, a bit more like how we have ours. But the syndics don't, and they're a bit more brutal. And something that John Blackjack Geary's doing is he's not killing everyone and stuff. And what he does, he'll broadcast out. He's trying to mess with the syndics regarding, like, he'll make a broadcast and be like, we're going to do this, just so you know, the reason why we're doing it is because your CEOs or the people, they've attacked us, they've done something, so they're messing with, and they're trying to break the bubble that the syndics have got over all the people, because just basically everyone's like enslaved over there. They've got like orbital stations with weapons on, pointing at the planets, because they keep everyone stuck. They don't care for people. People with digits. If the digit costs too much, they stay there. They don't move them. They don't help them. That's just the way they run everything. And the other thing he does is like he'll interrogate someone and they talk to him, and he's like, the way he's questioning them, he's not nasty or horrible. He's just asking questions about the syndics, and he's just messing with everyone, because then he lets them go. He's like, I'm gonna let you go. We're not gonna kill you. We're gonna let you go. And he lets everyone go, because no point killing them. It's not that humane, is it? Keep them in prison. You've got to then feed them, look after them. Send them back. What's a couple hundred in a galaxy spanning war? It's nothing. So, and the damage they'll do by sending them back, they do more damage with like this fleet. They let him back. This man who's this legend, Blackjack. He captured us. He done all this damage, destroyed all the military and all the government stuff. But the people he captured, he give us back. And he's like messing with what the CEOs and what the corporations are saying over to what the people are saying. So he's causing conflict there, so it's really messing with the syndics, which I really like that as well. Aliens, can't talk about spoilers. The first book, they sort of theorise, is there aliens? Something weird, something non-human is messing with something, but they don't go into no more detail. And there's a bit more on that. A bit more seeds are being planted. So I've got an idea where it's going, but you don't see no aliens. There's talks and theories, what could be over here, what could be bordering in, maybe these have done something to do with this. Interesting. So with that, I like the syndics a lot. I like the whole, they are the baddies, not a single person. You don't know who's running it, nothing like that. And with that, I'm going to give it a 4.4 out of 5. I really like them. So overall, I'd say the book it's a 4.5 out of 5 book. Brilliant book. 4.4 maybe, 4.5, one of them two. Good book, get it, read the series again. Like, I've done one, Dauntless was good, book 2, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I'm itching for the next one, but again, I said, gotta wait. Can't do nothing about that, gotta wait. Yeah, that's it really, so that's the end of the video regarding that. If you're happy, like it. If you're not happy, down-like it. I mean, don't down-like it, that's not nice. Discord, Instagram, Twitter. Twitter's a bit boring, but Instagram's cool. I'm really liking Instagram. Yeah, Patreon. Become Patreon. Couple of quid helps me out as we buy stuff. The stuff that I do my live videos with, and because that costs me 20 odd quid a month, and I want to get a new camera, which is expensive, but whatever. Other than that, yeah, cool thing. Bye. Aliens and who the technology are. Oh no, aliens. Oh. The Alliance fleet continues its perilous, that's it. I don't know what happened there. Right, okay, back to what I was saying. This is going to be a non-spoiler review. Yeah. It's going to be a non-spoiler review. This is going to be a non-spoiler review. Right. We do one shot. Let's do it. Script.